All right, guys, thank you for joining me today. This is the Angryprepper. So today's video, we're going to touch on something a little, I guess a little shitty. Starvation. We are coming into a food shortage. And this is what I keep hearing with truck drivers, people who own supermarkets, people who work for the meat industry. They all keep saying the same thing. Food shortage is coming. Now, out of food shortage, we're going to see something called starvation. We're going to see people starve. Should the food shortage hit, I might add, right? It's not a guarantee that it hits, but that everybody, because people keep saying it, it's better for us to take heed to that warning, or heed the warning, sorry, and do something about it so that we don't starve, so our family members don't starve, so our kids don't starve. Nobody wants to see anybody starving. That being said, it's why we need to go out and continue to shop. Now, the other side of that coin is if you're going to continue to shop, but you don't have any more room, or you think you have more than enough, you keep shopping just in case you want to support somebody else, like a friend, neighbor, family members that are far off. They have to come over and pick up that food, but nonetheless, you have enough to share. Make sure you have enough to share if you're going to share. But watching somebody starve, it's fucking hard. Now, I grew up in the 80s. We used to watch those commercials with the Ethiopian kids and Somalian kids starving to death, and these, these celebrities would come out and be like, "Hey, man, give us a fucking penny, and we'll feed this little kid Mobutu. He needs to eat," right? And you're like, "Oh shit!" And then because you watch them starving, you see these skinny kids, you see what they look like. You don't want that to happen. You can imagine your kid being in that situation. You're gonna do what it takes to make sure they're fed. You should be doing that now. You should not be waiting for everything to collapse, for food shortage to happen. You're scrounging in a supermarket eating Spam and shit, right? Or trying to force your kids to eat Spam, because I don't know who likes Spam. But nonetheless, you don't want to watch your kids starve. So you need to go out there now and start shopping. You need to make it a point to put away as much as possible, because you don't want them to starve. People starve and kids are starving. Parents do shitty shit. That's the other part of starvation, guys. If people are starving, you got to be very careful and very aware of the people who are starving around you if you're still eating. Because you're going to draw attention to yourself 3-4 months in. You still look somewhat healthy, because believe it or not, we're all going to lose weight. But you're going to look somewhat healthy, and you're going to see this guy come out of his apartment or his house, drawn look, saggy clothes, pale skin, hair falling out, kid's belly bloated, right? People get desperate so that their kids can eat. Your neighbor who you knew for 15 years turns into a savage and tries to rob your apartment or your house because they want to feed their kids. These are the things that come out of starvation. If starvation starts to rear its ugly head here in the United States, and there is starvation here in the United States, guys, do not get it confused. It is happening in a lot of fucking small towns and a lot of shitty neighborhoods down south. Kids are starving. They're going to bed hungry. But this is an entirely different ballgame of starvation here in the United States if it happens with a food shortage. If the meat packing plants have to close down again because of the coronavirus, there's going to be less meat on the shelves. If we run out of aluminum completely, how are we going to get those foods packaged? Now, there are alternatives. I'm pretty sure they're working on it, like bagging it, putting it in single-serving bags, almost something like this, right? But this is vacuum sealed, but something like that. They'll put food in there. They could do that. That's an alternative, but nonetheless, it won't be enough. And if we start running into problems where they can't find the materials to pack that food in the bag, that's going to cause a food shortage. If truck drivers get sick, can't deliver food to the city or the stores or the supermarkets or the Walmarts and the Targets, that's going to cause a food shortage. That's going to cause starvation. These are the things you have to be aware of. Now, if you know that your neighbors are starving, you could help them out. But if you don't help them out, you got to be aware that shit can get ugly fast. All right? So starvation could very well be something we might see in the next few months. And when I mean next few months, I'm talking about probably maybe 6 months or so, right? Once the food shortage starts, the clock is ticking. So you have to keep that in mind, guys. You have to be aware of what's going on with the food situation. Let's stay positive. and stop being so negative. And I have to be at fault to that too, of being negative. Let's just say, I hope there's not a food shortage. I hope there's no starvation. But if it does happen, you have to read the signs on everyone else around you who is not eating, because they could do the ugly thing. They can get busy and do the shit you never thought they can do. When people are starving, they do fucked up shit. You have to keep that in the back of your head. All right, guys, so this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. And other than that, guys, thank you for watching.